Today we're going to show you how to set up your MVN Motion Decoy System. The system is extremely versatile and can be used on full body decoys, inflatable decoys, shell decoys, or pretty much any decoy that has a stand or stake that's about 1/8 inch or larger. You'll probably need some tools in order to set up your motion decoy system. That includes a ruler, a drill with a 1/8 inch drill bit, some screwdrivers, probably both flat and Phillips head, something to mark your decoy with, some scissors, and optionally you'll find that having an Allen wrench may be handy. If you don't have one, it's not a big deal, you can still do it without. A 1/4 inch nut driver, and a pair of pliers. Needle nose work pretty good for this. So before we begin, what you're probably going to want to do is take your power bank, and you're going to want to make sure that it's charged. And if it's not charged, now is a good time to plug it in and get it ready to go. All right, and next what we'll be doing is installing your V bracket into a shell decoy. All right, now we're going to show you how to go ahead and install your motion system. You'll want to take all the components out of the bag. That includes the motion system with the motor, the V bracket for attaching to your decoy, the motion arm, a piece of Velcro, 2 screws for attaching to your decoy, and then a zip tie to attach the button to the stand. Before you begin, what you're going to need to do is decide how your motion system is going to sit in your decoy. There's a variety of different options that you can use for the type of decoy that you have, and we'll show you some options later on and examples. But today we're going to install this on a shell decoy, so we have lots of space for this motion system to sit inside. So we're going to install the V bracket inside the decoy, and first we need to put the arm on so we know where to measure. It's super simple. You just loosen up the screws on the top of your gear, get your motion arm, determine where it needs to go exactly, and then place the motion arm into the top on the gear. Be careful not to slide it too far beyond the bottom bracket on the gear, because if it's too far out, it will hit your stake and that will cause your motion system to burn out. Once you have the arm installed in the proper location, tighten down your screws. Then you'll want to put the motion system onto your stake. You do that by loosening up the clamp. This is where the 1/4 inch nut driver comes in handy. Once that's loose, you can remove the gaskets, the rubber gaskets on the inside, and these are used around your stake to prevent the motion system from actually turning. If you have a smaller stake, you use both of the inserts, the small interior one and the bigger outside black one. Because we have a larger stake today, we're just going to use the outside black one. We're going to place it onto our stake, and then we're going to place that black back into the clamp and tighten it. Once it's in place and tight, you'll want to insert your decoy stand into the decoy where it normally sits. This will allow you to measure where you need to drill your holes for your V bracket. You want the motion arm to sit inside the V bracket approximately in this area. So if you have it in the right spot, you'll be able to measure. Get your motion bracket in your decoy. And you can flatten out the V bracket in order to measure and make it easier to mark. Once you have it in the right spot, mark where you need to drill your holes. If you're installing a lot of these V brackets and motion systems, you may want to at this point measure all of your decoys so that they're exactly the same. This will make sure that your stakes and your motion systems are interchangeable on the decoys themselves. So you can All right, now that we know where we want our V bracket to go, we're going to go ahead and drill 2 holes in our decoy. All right, now you'll take the 2 supplied screws, nuts, and bolts and insert them through the top of the decoy. Make sure that the washer's on the outside. Turn your decoy over and then insert your V bracket through the screws and tighten them down. This is where you might need a screwdriver. Place your nuts on and tighten them down completely. If you need to, you can bend the V bracket at this point so that it's easier to tighten. Just make sure you bend it back into place when you're done. All right, that's it. All right, now that your power bank battery is all charged up, it's time to go ahead and put it on your MVN Motion Decoy System. For that purpose, we have included a piece of Velcro, super sticky Velcro, in your packaging. Now, we find it best to cut the Velcro in half, and because the lights are so bright on the power bank battery, we recommend that you use the Velcro to kind of obscure that, so for those early morning hunts, the light is less visible. So go ahead and take your battery pack and a piece of Velcro, remove the adhesive, and then place it on this side of the battery, not obscuring the button, but covering up the lights. Take the other side. And then also place that on your power bank. And you can test it out by turning on the lights. And you can still see them so you know how charged it is, but it's less visible. You then take your other pieces, and depending on how this sits on your decoy, you may install it on the front, the bottom, or the side, whatever works best for your system. Just make sure that the plug-in is nearest the USB cord so it works better. Because we're doing the shell decoy, we're going to go ahead and install it on the front. Now, the very first time that you run this or turn it on for the day, what you want to do is make sure that the lights are lit when you plug it in. Go ahead and stick it on with the Velcro, insert your cable, and then we're going to test the system. Make sure that your fingers are completely out of the way because this arm can jump and pinch your fingers. Also important to note is that this isn't going to hit your stake or your post. If it does, it will burn out your system. So go ahead and turn it on the button and test it out. If it looks like it's going to hit your stake, stop it before it does, loosen up these, and adjust your top bracket. You can slide it by tightening and loosening the screws on the top. Once you're sure that it's not going to hit the stake and that it's moving in the motion that you want it to, you're ready to go ahead and put it on your decoy. Alright, you may want to take your button and affix it to your stake so that it's not in the way. And if you do, we've supplied you with a couple of zip ties. Just go ahead and attach that. And you're ready to install your decoy. For these shells, it's super simple. All you do is put your stake where it's supposed to go. And make sure that the motion arm sits within that V bracket. Test out your decoy. Make sure nothing's obstructing it. And you're ready to go hunting. Alright, here are some examples as to how your motion decoy system can be installed. This is an inflatable turkey decoy with the motion decoy system on the stake down below, and the V bracket is attached to the outside. I forgot to mention earlier that you don't have to drill into your decoy. You can attach this V bracket with adhesive. You just may need to reapply the adhesive more often. Here is a duck decoy, also with the V bracket on the outside in the back of the decoy and the motion system down below. Here's an example of a goose decoy with the base, where the motion system sits up inside the decoy. The V bracket has been affixed to the outside bottom of the decoy. And lastly, we have another full body decoy where the motion system and everything else sits up inside. There has been a small cut made into this decoy where the V bracket then was drilled and sits up inside. And then to insert it, you just make sure that that motion arm sits up in that bracket like that. And that's completely hidden so that you can't see the motion system at all. Now that you've installed your MVN Motion Decoy System,
it's time to go hunting.